All right. Let's see. Morning all. Anyway, anyone out there? We'll see. Oh, working? Oh, thank you. Thanks, guys. Wow, there was like a 30-second delay. Anyway, it's all right now. So that's all good. Good morning, Stephen. Yasmin. Saw you yesterday. Brad. Hey, Craig Harwood. Hey, Craig. Jeffrey, my friend there. Where's my passport? Morning, Yasmin. Morning, Carl. Morning, Perry. Ben Rogers. Been a while. Yeah. How are you, Ben? Up in Queensland, I guess. Navneet. Good morning, Paul. Good morning to you. Sunday morning. Supposed to be a big cold front coming through, but I guess it happened while I was sleeping. It's pretty nice out there now. Anyway, in my backyard, that's the view. Looks pretty like sunny enough and all of that. I'm alone in my home. My son has gone down. Good morning, John. Abraham, good morning. Catherine, good morning. My wifey has taken my son at 7:30 this morning down to Melbourne to compete in the Nationals, AFBJJ Nationals. No gi. So no gi today. And I said I'd give him 1 day. So I went yesterday for the gi. So today's my day off. I just need a day of laying around, sleeping and eating and recuperating from my New Zealand jaunt last week. So I kind of feel like I should have gone with him, but no doubt I'll get a phone call soon from them. See how he's going. He did pretty well yesterday. He come second in the Nationals in the gi, but he had a funny match. A very good opponent, very experienced opponent in the finals. And Felix wanted to try his new game, which he's been working on for 3 weeks. So that's his Berimbolo game. So he worked on his Berimbolo, and he should have just stuck. I think he should have stuck with his spider guard when he was on the bottom. He was doing all right passing actually, but when he was on the bottom, he should have stuck with his A game, which is his spider guard game. But he said, no, I wanted to try Berimbolo. Hey, fine. I'm not going to discourage him from trying new things under pressure. So he did that. And as a consequence, I think he lost because of that. But he did a good job. Pretty exciting match. Yeah, he seems happy enough. But he's back for the no-gi today, so we'll see what happens. Yeah, good morning, everyone. Good morning, Brad. Hey, Ben. Oh, good. I'm glad you're well, Ben. Excellent. Passport. Yeah. Jeffrey, my passport. It's a mystery as to where it went. Morning, Scott. Report said snow in Geelong last night. Yeah, it might have been snowing. I was sleeping. So, yeah. No, looks all right. It's kind of warm-ish. My backyard's a weird little microclimate of warmth because my house is carved into a hill on the corner. So it's protected by a 3 or 5 meter high cliff, limestone cliff. So I'm kind of dug in there and the weather comes from the other way. So I generally don't get, although today it's a bit blowy out there, but I'm kind of protected. When I bought this block of land, I come up with a thermometer and it was 5 degrees warmer on this block section in New Zealand, block in Australia, than it was down the road, which is just 20 meters that way. So it's not too bad here. It's pretty good. Good morning, Renee. Good morning, Travis. Steve Wallace. Morning. Tony Harvey. Hey, Tony. Rest day for you. Alexander. James. Napier. Hey, Neeps. Joseph. Hey, Joseph. Joseph Hamblin from Core in Hamilton. Won his MMA fight in fine form the other week. Congratulations, Joseph. After doing the biggest weight cut ever, something ridiculous. My goodness. Devi Ayuni. Apa kabar pagi? Pagi ini, Devi. Devi is from Bali. Brian. Morning, Brian. Hey, Anthony. Mr. Langy. Good morning. Tony. Jake. Good morning. Morning, Steve. Nikki Langy and Anthony Langy are both sitting together, holding hands, no doubt, watching. Good on you, Langies. Tony Luck, good luck, big fella. Yeah, is that me or Felix? Renee, congratulations to your son. Yep, no pressure for him, Renee. Held him off jiu-jitsu for a long time because I saw other martial artists, plenty of martial arts guys, like some of my peers and friends, make their kids train when they were young, or not make them, but encourage them when they were very young. And almost, if I'm not mistaken, without exception, every one of those kids quit. Like, not, they got bored, they got burnt out. So I just decided, well, I just won't do that. So I discouraged my son Felix from training till he was about 15 years old. I made him, he did hockey and swimming and this and that. So he's very sporty, very athletic, but I never let him do jiu-jitsu. And then when he was 15, 1 night a week. Then when he was 16 and 17, 2 nights a week, like that. So, and now he's a purple belt, 19 years old, but he's into it. So I don't know if I've done the right thing, but it's worked out. And he loves it, likes competing, and he's got a very cool nature. So he seems to be okay with losing, no problem. He's very gracious in defeat, always goes up, congratulates his partners after the matches, hangs out with them and stuff. So, yeah, it's nice. I think he should stick to his game, though, when he's competing. But he likes to try new things, which I'm not going to discourage that. William, good morning. Jeff Robertson. Ben Gray, good morning. Hey from Cincinnati. Good old Cincinnati. Is it cold over there, Jeff? I guess. Does it get cold in Cincinnati? I suppose it does. Morning, Kylie. Selamat pagi, Devi. Jangan makan terlalu banyak pisang goreng. Sorry about that, everyone. Bit of Indo there, just for my friend Debbie. Morning, Gary. Morning, Mason. Sammy Broughton. My favorite people. Sam, hey, Sam. Morning, Daniel. Kylie, good morning. Professor. You can call me Professor. That's okay. I don't mind it. I'm also okay with John. I guess with regarding that, a lot of people are very precious and weird about that stuff. Like, I like the idea of Professor or Sir on the mat. Off the mat, I don't mind. Whatever. But I think, and the reason for that is because I think when people go on the mat, there needs to be a distinction made between like who you are off the mat and who you are on the mat. It's like we're in class right now, and so it's not like, yay, bro, which I don't like that on the mat, because I think for me, we're there, it's a serious time, and I want people to be in a training mindset, not in a social mindset on the mat. So that's why I like Professor or Sir on the mat, and it makes a distinction between that part of their day and the rest of their life, throughout the day, right? Where it's all, hey, bro, hey, mate, hey, Fred. Whereas when you go on the mat, if it becomes Sir, Professor, it's kind of makes that time more special, and, your brain gets into a certain mode. So that's why I kind of insist on Sir on the mat, or Professor is fine by me, but in social situations or like now, you can call me, hey, you, whatever you like. It's all good. Awesome seminar at GSW. Thanks, Mason. Yeah, I enjoyed it too. It was really good. I liked it. I taught that seminar 2 times on my New Zealand trip. And GSW got it the second time, which I kind of like that, because I can compare it with the first time. And the first time you teach it, you say something one way and you see the outcome, and then you tweak it and you get a different outcome. So the second time you try it, you can zero in on exactly the right way to say it. Always trying to do that. And then I debrief myself with my notes later on, which I did the next day. Yeah, I thought it was pretty good, actually. And Jeffrey took some nice photos with his new zooming lens and tripod and stuff. So it's good. I really enjoy my time at TSW. Morning, Aaron. Cold out there where you live in Meredith. Morning, Brian. Well done to your son. Good luck for today. Thanks, Brian. Appreciate it. Phone might ring soon, in which case I should have it with it. But I'll run over and just answer it. If it rings, please excuse me, because I will just need to talk to my boy for a little bit, for a minute. Morning, Milton. Hari Guzman. Dari mana, Hari? It's an Indonesian name. Joseph, what advice would you give to a high belt ranks about improving, not just getting comfortable with the current knowledge? Yeah, it's a good question. I think we should always, for high belt ranks especially, I think we should milk the value out of a given topic, Joseph, right? So, we milk the value. We embark on a new topic, could be anything. And you'll find when you first get into it, those first 2 or 3 weeks, your learning curve is in a really sharp upswing. And then when it starts to kind of level out a little bit, that might be a time to, change to another topic. So with that, you could probably end up doing 12, 15 topics a year. I mean, that's the high end, or just do one topic for 3 or 4 months and get really good at it and get that down to 2 or 3 or 4 topics a year. But yeah, that would be something I would do. And I would make a distinction between like repping it and then pressure testing it. You do your reps, not too many, do 100 reps, then go away, pressure test it in sparring, and then come out of the sparring or out of the rolling and say, you know what, here was my trouble, and then try to fix it, accommodate that problem, and then go back in and rep it a little bit again with that new bit that you've added in, and then go and just keep doing that. How do you get better at jiu-jitsu when aren't no jiu-jitsu gyms in Tokoroa? I'm not sure where Tokoroa is, but it sounds nice. Better at jiu-jitsu. Well, you can't do it alone. I mean, you can what you can do alone, Brad, is create a fertile environment in your mind by watching competition matches and different things on YouTube. And so that when you do get a chance to train, your mind is more ready to accept whatever it is you're learning. I think that's a real thing. That's why like a kid can sit around and watch his mum and dad or his dad train jiu-jitsu. A lot of the Gracies have done this as their kids, and they see it all. And then one day when they're 15, 16, they start training, take it up. They are just really good because their mind's been watching it for 15 years. And that's not a normal person. It's like listening to your parents play guitar or play piano your whole, for the first 15, 16 years of your life. Then you decide to take lessons. You're right for those lessons, much more right than someone else. So I think there's something to that, Brad. But other than that, get a partner. Get a partner, throw some mats down your garage, and that's it. A lot of people get good in their garage. So you can do a lot. I was like that. There was a time where I was the only one in Australia. There was no one else. That was me. I had to get a couple of people and get on the mat, practice. So you can do that. Good morning, Dylan. Morning, Phil. Eleni, Helen Kotsopoulos. That is my beautiful wife's sister. Helen. Hey, Helen. Your sister has taken your nephew down to Melbourne. I was sleeping when they left. It's hot. Oh, it's hot, right, Jeff? Right. Of course it's hot. It's humid, right? Kind of humid over there. I don't mind humidity. Kind of like it. Morning, Josh. Daniel, morning. Morning, Andy. Hey, Kerry, how you doing? Morning, Brett. Blake. Oh, Craig Morfitt, my buddy from up the road. There he is, mate. We're off to India soon, Craig. Just for a few days out in Rajasthan on a camel, watching Hegan fall off. Morning, Jade. Joseph. Hamilton's only 40 minutes away from Tucker. There you go. Yeah. Yes, right. Good, Brad. Joseph has just said 40 minutes. It's not far. I used to sometimes drive from the valley in California down to Higgins on the 405. It was 2 hours in the car sometimes. So if you have a car, good. If not, buy a horse. Core MMA in Hamilton, yeah. Recommend it. July seminar last year. Thanks, Brad. Good morning, Corbett. Morning, Mr. Wool. Thanks, Greggy. Nell's gone to Melbourne. I'm home alone. Can't be trusted with those Frosty Flakes. I want a bowl of Frosty Flakes. That's my thing. I like to have Frosty Flakes when my wife's not here. It's got the sugar-coated Frosty Flakes. Darren. I'm well. Thank you, Kerry. Very well. I've spoken to Davey for a little while, Kerry. He's been sick these last couple of weeks. I think he's stressed out with adoptapet.com, losing one of their major sponsors and then scrambling to get new sponsors. And when he gets stressed, he gets sick. Give him a call. I'm sure he'd like it. Hey, morning, Luke. Saw Adam yesterday. It's great. Joseph, no vehicle. Brad, get a vehicle. Electric cars. I've been researching electric cars. Someone told me, my friend Tim Freeman in Christchurch, I think Tim works in one of these places where cars come into another country, they have to do a new roadworthy to make sure they're up to standard. Tim says like half of the imported cars coming into New Zealand are electric. I was surprised at that. I thought that was really, really surprising. Like half. It's going to happen. Next 5 to 10 years is going to be a radical change on the roads. My next car will be electric. So, Brad, you might be able to buy like a cheap electric one, secondhand, from Tim Freeman. Good morning, Nicholas, Matt. Hey, Dons. I think Melissa's getting together with you and all the other girls at Red Cat next weekend. Is that right? I think so. That'd be cool. There's a lot of women training at Red Cat now. It's fantastic. And Ben, good morning. Kelvin. Morning, Kelvin. Here's one for you. Look, this T-shirt here. Sports. You like that, don't you? I know Kelvin would like that T-shirt. Morning, John. Monica. Adam, good morning. Favorite Kiwi is here. John. John, what's the Norwegian word for revenge? See if you can answer that question. Don't look it up. No Google. Do you know it or not? Morning, Phil. Brad, I like top mount to the figure 4 arm lock, one of my favorite. Yeah. Okay, I'll give you an idea here, Brad. You're on the mount. You want the Americana, figure 4. Straighten your arms. Do a handstand on their arm to take it out to the floor, meaning get your knees off the ground, elevate them off by putting all your weight on their arm. Out their arm goes. And you'll either get the Americana or they turn their side to save it, in which case you snag the armbar. There you go. 20-second coaching. Good morning, Adam. The bear has dropped in for a morning. I'm going to go and make myself a coffee in a minute, but I'll take you guys with me. Lenny. Hey. Hey, Chrissy. Chris Secke. Yes, I hope he kicks butt today. Yeah, he's in the right mood to kick butt today. Yeah, he was just woke up like, that's it. So, Melissa said before he's all fired up, so we'll see what happens. Morning, Luke. Luke, make me a coffee. Yep, can't wait. Yep, can't wait. It's cool. Veronica, hey V. All Sri Lankan women. V Sri Lankan, she's from Sri Lanka. Sri Lankan women always look nice and always smiling. Melissa likes you a lot, V. She said to me the other day. She says, I love V. She's really cool. I have to agree. Monica. Hi from Shuey. Hey, Shuey. Good on you. Hope you guys are okay. Been over to South America lately? I was thinking of going just for like 10 days at Christmas, over the Christmas break. I was going to zap over to Argentina, Patagonia, down the bottom. Thinking about it, trying to talk my friend Paul Jolly into it, but I don't know. Maybe. Morning, Stephen. B. Morning, Cameron. Yongquan. Not sure how I say it. Sorry. Yongquan. Afternoon. It is afternoon, Chris. That's right. I can't do this for hours today. Maybe another hour. Plenty of time. But morning, Chris. It is afternoon. Off to Melbourne now. What a dad, taking his boy Alex. Fine lad, great lad. Alex made it. Alex, Craig Morfitt's boy, has made it onto the state team for soccer, football for the English. Such great kid, always smiling, such talent. Great dad, one of my best mates. Okay, safe travels, pal. See you tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, training, gym, kettlebells, flipping tires. Let's do that. I was training, Brad, yeah, at ground control in Cambridge. That's where you were, right? Morning, Philip, Jason, Adam. Camera morning. How did you enjoy the Nationals? Yeah, it was okay. It's not my scene, hanging out at competitions, but it's nice to see a bunch of people that I knew. See my boy do his thing, and then we went down the beach and got fish and chips. It was pretty cool. Morning, Reese, sorry. Hey, Sheb, how you doing? Sheb, you're from Newcastle, right? Is it right? I think so. Apologies if I'm not correct in that. Hope you're well. Mustafa. Morning, Mustafa. Adam, no. Not long to the gathering. That's right. It's in my calendar to get firing on that tomorrow afternoon. Just make sure everything's in place and all of that stuff. So yeah, I'm excited. It's going to be a great gathering this year. Yep. Then we are going out for a KFC after, you freak. I only know love. Okay, John, the Norwegian word for revenge is heaven. I don't know how to spell it, but it's pronounced heaven, which is funny. Morning, Debbie. My distant cousin, second cousin. Morning, Philip. Anthony. Morning, Daniel. Brad. Morning, Lee. James. Hey, Shuey here. Right back at you guys. I have to visit Peru. I've got to fly over it, I guess. Don't want to crash in the Andes and have to eat my friend. Morning, Luke, Kevin, Justin. Morning. Yes. Going again next year. Nice one. Semi-retirement going for you. Any new hobbies? Semi-retirement. I retired. I'm officially retired on paper. I was told to retire, advised to retire by my accountant. And what the retirement means in Australia is this means you pay no tax anymore. So any work that I do, I'm working pro bono for my wife. So nothing's changed except where I get paid from. Not from the business, get paid from my self-managed thingo. Can't need to get paid. What do I need money for anyway? I need money. Have a ghee. Buy a mango every now and again. Marcelo, good morning. Good morning, Jerry. Jesse, good morning. Honest opinion of Danaher. I've never met him. Tetsuda, never met him. I think he's made a good contribution from what I've seen. I think he's particular. He's a very particular personality. An outlier in that his personality is kind of seems a bit weird and different, which I like. I like that. I think things outliers make things happen. So, yeah, I think he's probably, made a good contribution in that he thinks. I think, as far as I understand, I think he's got a degree in philosophy, so he kind of has that, an inclination toward thinking about things, and obviously he breaks things down, analyzes and stuff. So, yeah, interesting character, I guess. Good to meet him. Morning, Perry. Perry, good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Jerry. Yeah, Perry, Jerry. Charlene Broom. Charlene, oh, I'm missing you at Quor. Nice to see you. I'm coming there at the end of the year, November. Last Wednesday in November, I'll be at Quor. No, last Tuesday in November, I'll be at Quor again. Come on, Charlene. Drag your butt along there. Morning, Andrew. Just got off the match with Brian. Oh, wow. It'll be nice. Perry, good on you. Brian, excellent. Good morning, Robert. Morning, Jesse. Terry. Jeremy. Maddie. You guys are insane. You did a 5-day or 6-day, 5-day trip to the UK and back. It's Maddie Dennis is future hubby to be is Michael Tripolino, and those two guys met at my academy. So I feel somewhat responsible, but I think I've done a good job. And you two guys getting together, I think you're a great couple. Michael, do not throw her off the Eiffel Tower. No, Maddie, stay away from France. What makes Marcelo Garcia the greatest? You can't say the greatest. I don't think you can say that. He was the best. He was the winner of the competition at that time, given who was competing on that day, to be clear. But he consistently one of the very best of jiu-jitsu, best competitors of all time. But, as was Hagen and Machado and Jean-Jacques Machado, and as is Lucas Lepri, and a lot of people right now. Kai Terra, fantastic. Bruno Malfacini. So I can't say that, but what makes Marcelo great, I think Marcelo Garcia was just really good at jiu-jitsu. He had a game. He had he had a very clear game when a lot of people were mucking around with a lot of different things. He stayed true to his game, which, if I'm not mistaken, was based on butterfly game since he was a blue belt, butterfly guard. And if you do butterfly guard, especially no gi, you have to develop an arm drag because they'll grab your legs. When you develop an arm drag, you end up on the back a lot. So that's what got him good at the back. He spent so much time on the back that he got great at keeping the back and finishing from the back because of his butterfly guard, because of his arm drag. Then, of course, they started standing up in his guard to not get butterfly swept. So he had to develop the X guard, which used to be called leg split guard. So we go under. That developed his X guard game, which then morphed into his single leg X game. So something like that. But yeah, great movement, great sense of time, perfect timing, great sense of balance. Certainly a lovely person. So from what I've seen, I've not met him. My friend David Myers been there and was made extraordinarily welcome by Marcelo and his black belts. So they said they invited me to come over. I've never been there, but I must at some point, if I can, go to New York. Yeah. Anyway, good morning, Mark. Missing you. Yes, try to breathe. Be there, Charlene. I will smile 20% more if you're there, which my wife says I must do. I go smile more, apparently, in photos and not snarl. Maddie, Michael's watching with me. Hey, Michael, excellent work on your part. Never going to France. Don't do it. You two guys are awesome. Michael and Maddie. Love those people. Good morning, Andrew. Black belt. Anthony Lange up there in Sydney. Good morning, Andrew. One of the best note takers in the business, Andrew Nerlich, takes the most comprehensive notes. Really good. Way better than my note-taking skills. Every time Andrew goes to one of my seminars, he takes notes afterwards and then posts them. Fantastic. You should come to all of my seminars and do it. That'd be fantastic. Good morning, Kenneth. Heath Tornier joined. Good morning, Heath. Nikki, what is Felix's nickname? What his nickname is? I call him Tack. Because we started when he was a kid, I always called him Little Tacker. Little Tacker, come here, you little Tacker. That was shortened to Tack. And now if we call him, Melissa and I call him Felix, he thinks he's in trouble. So we call him Tack. Was watching his final gi match. Yeah. Final gi match was good. But I wish he had have played his normal game instead of trying his new weird thing. Well, not weird thing. But De La Riva and Berimbolo, dumped down to Berimbolo sweep is what he's just working on these last 3 or 4 weeks. So he wanted to make that happen, which he nearly did make it happen. And he's obviously he'll have learnt a lot from doing that in that match, but he should have stuck to his Spider Guard game, which is at least twice as good, twice as potent. He would have got the sweep, I think, easily. Yeah. And it was his biggest trouble. Anyway, good morning, Ben. Matt. Can't watch the whole thing live, but definitely do so later, enjoying these. Oh, thank you, Andrew. Thank you very much. Morning, Stuart. Taro Sumitomo. Morning, Taro. Hope you're well. Marcelo was instrumental in mine and Anthony's courtship, so a bit fond of him. Yes, of course. Excellent. Hagen. I walked on the mat one day. Melissa was over in the corner warming up. He came over, sat down to me, says, I have something very important to tell you, and you must do what I say. I said, sure. He pointed to Melissa and said, you must marry that girl. And I did. So I get it. Good morning, Mark. Thanks for your answers. What were your thoughts on IOTA and other cryptocurrency? Honestly, Tetsuda, I don't follow it. I just bought a bunch and I've sat on it. I bought like $30,000 worth. It went up to $130,000. Then it went down to like 15. I don't know where it is now, 35,000. So it's back above where I paid for it. But it's long term. It's just a very small percentage of my portfolio. So I spent 1% of my portfolio on cryptocurrency. And, you know, as like, what do you call it? Just a high risk, crazy bet, if you like. But I do think that the world is going that way. I think that most of it is tethered to Bitcoin, even though they're all doing different things. But I've got Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano. I've got some IOTA as well, and probably 7 or 8 others. But the bottom line is if Bitcoin, you know, goes up 4 or 5 times in value, then so do all the others. So I think if I was to do it all again, I'd probably just get Bitcoin and Ethereum, you know, and mainly, although I do believe in diversification, I think Bitcoin and Ethereum are main players. I've got Neo as well because I thought China might really go, and they might. I still think it'll all kind of kick off. So I'm just gonna ignore it. Wait 5 years. You might make 10 times your money in 5 years. Good morning, Dion. Lee, good morning. Good morning, David. Lineage and testing. Brian and I are discussing lineage and testing. What are your thoughts? On which? Lineage or testing? You mean lineage, where you come from. I think it's important. Other people don't. Other people think of it as just a thing, you know, you can jump from here to there. Yeah, and people can have that view, but and they're welcome to it. And I'm certainly haven't got anything to say in opposition to that. People are free to do whatever they want. You know, they can swap surfing coaches and they can swap whatever. But I like the fact that I have lineage and have had the one coach from day one, because I think relationships in our life are important, and you're going to get, you know, if you're lucky, you're going to get a handful important relationships. And I just really like the fact that my coach and I have gone back 30 years. I mean, that's pretty cool. 87, what is it? More than 30 years now, me and Hagen. I like it. You know, and I would never leave my coach for another coach. I would ask Hagen's permission. Hey, Hagen, do you mind if I go train with Marcelo? And he's going to say, of course, do it. Come back and let's just talk about it in the mat. So he's that kind of guy. So I would always do that. I always run it past him, even though I know I don't have to. I would still do it. Because when I'm on the mat, I see Hagen as my coach, and I treat him that way. When we walk off the mat, he's just like a younger brother. So I tease him and tell him off and make him clean up after himself and stuff like that. But on the mat, it's my coach. So I think that's important when I walk on the mat. Anyway, I like the idea of that. Testing, not sure what you mean. If you come back with a more specific question on testing, happy to give you my answer. Hey, Alex, how you doing? Via Craig, hope you're well, Alex. Good on you. Get out there today in the ice and snow. Run up and down that field. Do your thing, Alex. You're a legend. Felix is very much looking forward to spending some time with you in Rajasthan. Morning, Carl. Nathan, good morning. What makes Rigan Machado so good? It's hard to know. I think a couple of things really helped. Where he was brought up, you know, where people come from impacts their lives. So who was he hanging out with when he was like, well, 2 years old, 3 years old, 10 years old, 15, 20 years old? All the best BJJ guys in Brazil. Hollis Gracie, Hickson Gracie. This is who he was hanging out with. Also, the fact that you got 4 brothers all training on the mat helps, you know, right? You're there trying to do it by yourself. That's difficult. When you've got 4 brothers, there's always one who want to train. I think that really, really helps. So I think a lot of people that have got, like the Meow brothers, you know, and stuff, they've got someone, Mendez brothers. They've always got a brother they can pull on the mat, sit down, egos off to the side, work stuff out, scratch their heads, try to come up with solutions. That's a big deal. When you've got 5 that can do that, plus another 5 cousins, you can't help but get good. I think that was a big thing, Cameron. Plus, Hagen, if he's got 100 points in his head, he's used 99 of those points on jiu-jitsu. He's focused all of his thinking on that at that part of his life. So when you do that, you become very, very good. Good morning, Carl. Good morning, Shane. Good morning, Nathan. Bear, Higgins said something similar to me one year at the gathering. When are you going to marry that girl? Yes. He's good like that. He can pick it. He said to me, there is no girl better for you on the planet than that girl there. She doesn't exist. What's your problem? Morning, Kurt. Good morning, Warwick. Ballarat. Worked out well. Yes, of course. Good morning, Michael. Sam. Good morning, John. Iwayan Makoto. Excuse me, everyone. Selamat pagi, Iwayan. Bagaimana di Bali? Good morning, Brandon. You covered it in your answer. Okay, cool. Thank you, Perry. Good morning, Will. Phil Sword. He trained with me in the 90s. Brandon Cooper. He trained with me in the 90s. I'm not sure who you're talking about. Brandon. Good morning, Michael. Good morning, Jason. Good morning, Peter. Chris. Good morning, Chris. So sorry to hear about Aaron. Send him a message. I'd like to see him. Guess I will when I come up there shortly. Good morning, Philip. I wanted your view on leg lock trend that's happening. Do you like it? To the cupcake analogy that Regan told you about some years ago, you shared your seminar. Cupcake diet. No, look, I think it's leg lock. Look, we used to do that. We used to do that. I've said this before. We were doing heel hooks and leg locks. Now, of course, there's been additions and there's been some refinements and so forth, but, you know, lots of different backstepping entries into inside ashi. aka the saddle, the honey hole, which came from originally back when we were doing that back in the early 90s, was from scissor takedown, Carney Basami, crab claw takedown, scissor takedown, puts you into the inside heel hook position. And then we started back stepping out of half guard to hit it, even from the mount, doing it from the mount, putting both of your feet in from the mount inside their legs, and then switching your knee to the outside, then back stepping over, all of that kind of stuff. The Russian knot, we were doing that in the early 90s. So I think what's happened is it comes back, it's come back. But in the 90s, there was no internet, and there was no one like, Gordon Ryan or Gary Tonin or Eddie Cummings doing it on a stage or a venue where the whole world could see it. So that's what's happening now. That's what's different now. People can see someone prevail with something like that, and they go, oh, wow, they're beating everyone with that. Let's do that. And then you get a trend. So we didn't have that back then. The only way you would get onto something like that was to see someone consistently win with something specific in a competition, and then you run back and try to emulate it or counter it. So, it's not new. People were doing heel hooks 2,000 years ago in Greece. There's evidence of that. So, I think it's good. I think it's part of the whole package. You need everything. It takes time, but you have to become well-rounded. In my view, you've got to become well-rounded, whereas rule sets can mess that up, right? Because if the rules don't let you do heel hooks or whatever, then you don't do them. And then if you don't do them, you don't have counters to them. And then now you have a weakness. So I think it's important to do everything and then be able to switch to any kind of rule set you want if you want to compete. Yeah. Good morning, Rakai. Good morning, Dean. Good morning, Ben. Brandon Egan. Brandon Kuba. So what did you say up here? He trained you in the 90s, Brandon. Okay, cool. Trained you in the 90s. Yep. Whereabouts? Where did he train you? What mat? Thanks, John. I wanted to hear your view on it for a while. Much appreciate your answer. Yeah, pleasure. Yeah, it's all important. It's all good. It's part of the complete package, right? So like everything, people. It's very easy to zero in on one thing and say this is the answer. This is all. But I think life is about balance. You've got to have a great relationship. You've got to have your health, a great primary relationship. You've got to have a really good health. I think it's nice to have enough your finances organized for the stuff where you're not in stress mode about money. I think you need to have some things that you love doing, some things that ignite your passion. So I think it's about balance. I think then the same on the mat. I think that's about balance. You need your leg locks, your chokes, back takes, omoplatas, crucifix. You need arm bars, Americanas, Kimuras. You need some takedowns. You need to know how to not get knocked out, while you come in there to do the cleats, to take the person down, to do those things. So I think you need balance. Balance in all things. Leg locks is part of the puzzle. Any investment advice to someone in their 20s? Yes, absolutely. Very, very simple. Save 10% of everything you earn, no matter what. Now, I had trouble saving 10%. If you do that, by the time you're 45, you'll be a millionaire. But a couple of times over by the time you're 50. So I think that it's very simple. Just save 10%, especially if you're not interested in money. That's easy to do. You save 10% of everything you earn. And then when that comes into a pile, you go and invest that somewhere. Then you need to maybe buy a house and then rent it out, something like that. But if you find it difficult to save 10% of everything you earn, you might want to do what I did, which was look at it a different way. I'm not saving 10% of everything I earn. I'm learning to live on 90% of what I earn. Now, that's the same thing, but it's a different mindset. If I'm saving 10%, it seemed like a sacrifice. If I learned to live on 90%, it seemed like a challenge that I could do. And I did it. And then I learned to live on 80% of everything I earn. then 70, 60, then 50. Now I live on like 1% of everything I have. So, yeah, start with saving 10%. Tetsuta. Good morning, Andrew. Jason Queck. Good morning, Jason, Singapore. Damien, good morning. Morning, Jesse from Horsham. Brett Fenton from Queensland. Good morning. Good morning, Nathan. My 8 and 10-year-old have expressed an interest in competing in a tournament. Any recommendations for priority takedown to begin with? They've already touched on Osoto Otoshi and double leg. Yeah, the trouble with double leg, I mean doubles or singles, especially doubles and stuff, if they blow it, they're getting sprawled on and they can end up on the bottom. So you might want to do something like, collar drag to half guard and then come up to the double leg. That's a very easy takedown. All they're going to do is get a grip with their right hand, step out to the left, sit down on their butt, pull really hard. Now they're on the outside because their opponent's hands are on the ground, and then they come up to a double leg from their knees. That's really easy for adults, but especially for kids to do. Yeah. Or, something just like a sotogari. But instead of doing a sotogari normally, like you've got their grips and then you put your right foot on the outside of their leg and trip them, get them to put their right leg in there and hook their back of their opponent's right knee from distance, and then hop their way in with their left leg. Hop, 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 and then finish the osotogari. Also very good way for kids to do it. Good morning, Paul. Good morning, good morning, Mike. That's what wasn't working in the comp I completed. Good morning. Sorry, I'm not sure about that, Brett. Good morning, Jesse, again. Good morning, Jason. Morning, Jason. Singapore. I love Singapore, only for 3 or 4 days for me, but love a good police state. Meaning, I think it's what's interesting about Singapore, and this might be a terrible thing to say, is that it was a police state, in a way, it's they have a benevolent dictator. And so way back then, I think 30, 40 years ago, I had to go to Singapore a couple of times from Indonesia to renew my visa. You had to cut your hair. They had to cut your hair to get in the country. You couldn't have long hair. And you can't spit chewing gum on the sidewalk. So I think the long hair, come on, you should let people do what they want. But at the same time, I don't think people should spit their chewing gum on the sidewalk. So what they did, I think, was put police out there policing it. And it worked. And now they've got the culture in place, but without the police presence. It's kind of like parenting. I think they did 20 or 30 years of like, you can't do that, behave this way, or else. And everyone went, oh, shit. And then now it's just a really nice place. Clean as a whistle. Everyone's happy. Business, low tax rate, 20% if I'm not mistaken. The top tax rate, great, Singapore. Yeah. It's good parenting. Is that right, Jason? Do you agree with that or not? You obviously must have a different view, being a Singaporean and me being an ignorant Aussie. Good morning, Graham. Good morning, Corbett. Seattle. Mark Cox. Hey, Mark from LA, out in the valley. My goodness, the valley. Hot. Tetsuta. Would you put that 10% in cash or other vehicles? Look, I mean, it depends. If you're starting out, it's cash, right? You need enough to invest it. But I'd start out, I don't know what. I'm not going to give specific financial advice, but, if you wanted to, for example, put a deposit on a house, very good investment, historically speaking, then it's going to have to be in cash for a while till you get there. Or you could put it in, I don't know where you live, Australia, blue chip shares that pay a tax-free dividend is good too. I do both. I personally, what I did was I put it in cash till it built up to enough where I could put it into it, where I could use it as a deposit to buy a house. A good house in a bad street, in an area next to an area that's already expensive. Rent. Property in Australia, at least, is historically done very well, doubling every 7 to 10 years. It's pretty good. But, Blue chip Australian shares, pretty good too. Time, yep, it's time. That's why if you start now doing that stuff, you know, property goes down, don't panic, shares go down. Don't even look at it. You got to look every year. Like, it's over time. It's a long game, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. It's not like what happens next. What happened to my investment this week? It's not like that. Just you make it a habit. Goes in, goes in, goes in, goes in. You ride out the ups and downs, just goes in, goes in, goes in. 10 years later, you're cool. Hey, Mark, miss you. Yeah, it's been a while. Wow. Since David and I came around and visited. I texted Dave, might have an old soul for our buddy Dave. He should messenger with his cell phone. I will do that. Kerry, write this down. Are you ready? It's 310-897-6546. I know his number in my head. 310-897-6546. Jackie, good morning. Jamie, good morning. Brad, a single leg takedown is what is the easiest way to be successful in that takedown? High single or low single? Get back to me, Brad. High or low? Which one? Got to be specific. Or outside single, meaning high crotch. I'll give you those three. Pick one. Jason, agree. Oh, cool. Yeah, Jason would know. Jason agrees with me that, yeah, Singapore just said they came down harsh on the community, just like a parent might come down. No, don't do that. Don't do that. There'll be consequences for doing that bad thing. And the kid learns. I think the population learned now. Singapore's clean. People don't throw rubbish on the street, which is a good thing. People help each other out. All Singaporeans are smiling, helping people. I think it's a fantastic culture, Singapore. Yeah, I love it. Good morning, Darren. Kim, good morning, Jesse. Love the t-shirt. Yeah, it's part of my t-shirt collection. Well, everyone's got a t-shirt collection. This one's called Sports. Sports. I ordered a couple of new ones on the internet just last week, Jesse. A couple of new ones. Yeah. Good to get them. You just texted me back. Never mind. Perfect, Kerry. Great. Nice for you to make contact. I'm sure he'd like that. Morning, Shane. Good morning, Aaron. Jeremy. Good morning. Kids bullying other kids at school. Nothing your academy. Kids bullying other kids. School's doing nothing. Your academy has kept my kids safe. Thank you. Yes, Amy has been, she's grown from this. I mean, you know that better than anyone, but it's not all bad. You know, it's not all bad. I mean, what happened was bad. The school's response was bad. But the outcome is that Amy is now more immune to bullshit. And she's going to stand up and use her voice when she thinks something's wrong. So in that respect, it's been good. So she's been immunized against chickenpox, and many other people have not. So I think that she's emerged better for it. And, you know, okay, as a parent, that's tough, right? See a kid going through bullying, but later on, I think you'll see the value. I think people will see the value. Shoot, you'll see it later on, Graham. That's my guess. I was bullied when I was a kid. I see the value now. Didn't at the time. Kept wetting my bed. I was so scared. Piss in my bed. I use plastic sheets. It's terrible living in fear. But then I snapped. And snapping worked. When you beat a bully, you also don't win just that fight, but you win a lot of future fights. Good morning, David. Morning, Brad. Oh, high leg, single leg takeout. I'm sure are you thinking about food? High leg, single leg takedown. High single. The way I would do it for BJJ competition would be like if I was only allowed to do one and you had no setups and didn't know how to do any of that. Grab the gi, right hand, and run him off the mat. And as you're running him off the mat, snatch the leg up with your other hand. That's called a snap single, because when they're moving backwards, their leg becomes very light. And there's very little to no chance of getting sprawled on. So that would be my short answer. Yeah. Get that right grip and just run forward as hard as you can. Left leg swipes it up. When you get it between your legs, then convert to a normal single, run the pipe, take them down, or even better, take it up on the outside so you've passed their guard before you take them down. A little bit more technical, but better. I actually saw someone do that yesterday. In the black belt division competition. Thought, that was pretty good. Chris and Kerry, just writing this when you got on topic, teaching kids jiu-jitsu for self-defense versus schools no-touch policy. The schools, in my view, can have whatever policy they want. That does not trump the law. The law is we can defend ourselves. That's it. That's the crux of the argument. School policy is beaten by state law. And no one can tell you can't defend yourself. That would not stand up in court, in my view. Does the principal have a policy that when someone breaks into his house at night time and starts belting up his wife, here's a no-touch policy? Really? No. So, come on. Kids need to be able to defend themselves. And I, as a parent, backed my kid on 2 occasions where, hey, don't start anything, never start anything, but if someone lays hands on you, you can do what you need to do to make that threat go away. And I was into the principal's office and we have a no-touch policy. I said, yes, so do we. We have the same policy as you. And anyone lays hands on my kid, he can smack him, he can knock him down, he can do whatever he needs to do to make that thing stop. And if they want to suspend my kid, that's awesome. Please double the suspension so we can go and see more movies and do more training. That's only a small part of a kid's life to school, and one that, I don't want my kid to be touched or bullied at school. Neither should anyone else. Constantly comes up questions from kids as you're demonstrating the technique to defend yourselves, meaning we are already being assaulted at this stage of clinching. By giving constant to do it, even though they think they'll be in trouble. Look. This is every parent has to make their own decision on this thing. What I've done is I've sent out a handout to all the parents of the children that train in my academy, making it very, very clear that we also have a no-touch policy. The school might have it, but so should your child. No one, and every child has the right to defend themselves. The school policy can be whatever, but the law is the law. Every human has a right to defend themselves. It's not only state law, it's just the natural law. And you might have to deal with the consequences of it. But what are the consequences of just taking the beating from the bully? Really? And I'm not just talking about the physical consequences of that, which might be bad, could be you die. But consequences of, okay, if you're telling me I can't hit back, you're telling me I can't defend myself, what kind of human being does that make me? What kind of human being are you trying to create? So when they grow up, become an adult, they won't stand up for what's right. They won't defend themselves. They'll stay quiet. They won't develop a voice. Really? Is that the kind of child we want to be raising? No way. Some of these school principals need to learn a few things about life, about people, about the law, in fact. Good morning, Gareth. Good morning, Kimberly. Good morning, Dave. Tetsuta. Top 3 favorite books. Nah. All right. Dune. Dune is very good. It's a science fiction book by Frank Herbert, D-U-N-E. Favorite books. It's all good. They're all good. I don't know. It's like saying top 3 favorite movies or foods. It depends on what day. What am I reading now? That might be something that's more interesting. Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. Letters from a Stoic, Seneca, Greek stuff. Rage of Ares, Christian Cameron. I reckon the best historical fiction writer, if you want to know about. Really good, really good. I love fiction, but historically accurate, I think. Haven't read that yet. Gift from someone, Sapiens, gift from Cam Rowe, my friend Cam. Sapien, A Brief History of Humankind. Probably read that very shortly. I mean, there's a pile. Look, I've got to read that. Is this bugging people out, me moving around like this? Tell me if it's annoying. Oh, good books. Look at these. These are great books. These were hard to get. Really good. Judo Masterclass books were fantastic books. Some old ones here. The Romance of Savage Life. Science fiction books. Martial arts. War. Clausewitz or More. A classic. Book of Five Rings. Indian version of the same thing. Yeah. Sci-fi up there. Look at that. There you go. Getting a tour. Gift from a friend of mine. Paul Jolly, one of my best friends, bought that back from Florence for me. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, difficult. 3 books. I don't know. All books say different things. I'm going to just put a coffee on. Is that really being rude? Anyway. Book on Time arrived. Thanks, Craig. Yeah, I'm interested in that. Craig, my friend Craig Morford bought me a book on time, which is an interesting subject. My father was fascinated with the concept of time, and he had a lot of interesting things to say about it. Very smart guy. My dad passed away now, so I'm really interested to read that book. Thanks, Craig. What is the best way to be successful in back choke? I always get them, but can't seem to submit them. My goodness. Brad, instead of just going squeeze, try pulling your right elbow backwards over their shoulder to try to get the idea of cutting their neck, head off, rather than just general pressure. Try that. Cut their head off. Jesse, love borrow books on my iPad and phone. Can you borrow books from the library? Oh, yeah, I just don't like reading on my iPad. Never do that. I watch movies on my iPad, but reading, I don't do it. I like a book in my hand. Just making a coffee here. Haven't had a coffee this morning. I'm in the kitchen. My wife catches me in the kitchen, I'll be in trouble. She's not here though. Book on Time, yeah, it'd be good. I'm interested in. I see, Chris. Yeah, our own no touch policy. Yeah, Chris and Kerry Bowles. You can, not right now, but I've got an A4. Can I drop something in the comment? Can anyone tell me? Can I drop a picture in here? Will that work? Or is that difficult? I can't see that. It's not giving me an option. But I did a little A4 sheet, a cheat sheet I did 3 little memes, little cartoons, kind of explaining the basic arguments for kids being able to defend themselves, and how we need to make a distinction between that, between self-defense and assault. Because a lot of these kids who go to school are called into the principal's office. And the parent who's been called into the principal's office is completely unprepared to argue his or her case. But the principal's practiced that argument lots of times. So in a way, I see it as a form of bullying. So I think parents should need to be prepared to argue their case and have the facts in their hands, before they go to these meetings. And also I would suggest that parents ask principals and teachers to put things in writing via email and go back and forth via email a bit. So you have a transcript of the conversation, a proof of what they've said, because they say some ridiculous things. And I'd like them to put those ridiculous things in writing. So if it does end up going to court or to, VCAT or to tribunal or whatever, you can say, look what these people said. So those kind of people, the judges, and they will always, of course, go by the letter of the law. So it's good to get the school to do it in writing rather than going in there. That's what I would say to a lot of parents. Get the school, if they ask you to come in, say, please put your case in writing first. I want a copy of that. Maybe do a live post and add a pic. Aren't I doing a live post? What do you mean? I'm going to just see if I can do that now. I've got that thing somewhere here. I should have been prepared for that. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's going to take me a couple of minutes to find out where it is on my computer. The anti-bullying meme. It's not a meme, I guess it's. Shoot. No, I can't do it right now. My goodness. Yeah, I know you are live. I mean, do a post after live. Yeah, I'll do that, Nikki. Thank you. I'll do that after this finishes. I'll do a post. I'll just pop it back up there again. It's just a little A4 size picture, but you'll get a couple of you'll get the points. You'll get my view in a glance. Like the card you put in work, in case of accident, follow this process. Yes, exactly like that, Chris. Yeah. Because it's not fair. Parents are. They get it. They're not thinking about. They're thinking about their life, their work. They're trying to put food on the table, their bills. The parents have got lots of stuff to do. Then in the middle of their day, they get a call from the school principal. Come in here. I want to talk what your kid did at school. What? So suddenly you're in shock. And then you turn up and you sit there like a deer in the headlights while the principal goes blah, 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 blah. Something they've done 100 times. That, in my view, is a form of bullying in and of itself. So that's why I would suggest parents go, yeah, I'll come in, but please put in writing what happened, and then go back and forth by email, because emails give you a chance to think your case, think it through, Google stuff that you might need to know, gather information, and put forward an argument and go back and forth. At least then you've got time to think, plus you can ask opinions of other people and then come back. It's on your timeline, not the principal's timeline. And also you have a record of some of the ridiculous things that principals have been known to say. So that will be something that, could help. Anyway, yeah. I appreciate these talks. Got to take the kid out, but I'll tune back in later. Thanks, David. I might not be here, but I have not heard from my son or my wife, so I don't know whether that's good or bad. I know you are live on that. Thanks, Nikki. Morning, Dan. Craig. What advice? I'm not giving advice. I'm just rambling. Here it is, your post regarding bullying. Oh, right. Thanks, William. Thank you. If anyone's interested, click what William just did there. Nikki, perfect strategy. Always put things in writing and document everything. Has saved me many a time. You're getting into a lot of trouble, Nikki, that you need saving. Morning, Matthew. Morning, Bruce. Morning. How are you? Bruce Highland, long-time martial artist. Part of Australian martial arts history, Bruce. Yeah. Yeah, bullying. It's a thing. It's a real thing. But you know, in the large scheme of things, with regard to bullying and our kids dealing with this, school, I can hardly remember my schooling. I mean, it's only a part of our kids' lives. Keep it in perspective. It feels like their whole life, but to them at that time, and maybe to you as a parent, but it is just a part of it. I don't think the real learning comes till after school. I think real learning in life comes post-school. Look, I've probably got a cynical view, you know, if I say that school is basically just a glorified daycare center, but that's actually just my view. I think I'm trying to educate my son as to what kind of man to be, as to how to interact in the world, what's important in life. And I know with myself, a lot of my education, most of my education, 99.9% of it came after school. In school, I learned dry facts. I can get facts off the internet with this thing called Google. So good morning, Hanato Magno. Hey, Bruce, thank you. Steve Lyons. Hey, Steve. What do you think, Steve? Do you agree that most of our learning comes after school? I mean, you're a successful guy, done a lot of stuff in your life post-school, sporting achievements, BJJ black belt, business achievements in the community, you're well respected. What do you think? Most of your learning come while you're in school or post-school? And which learning, school or post-school, has affected your life more? Like, Brad, is that half Nelson easy to submit? Is that half Nelson easy to submit? I'm sorry, Brad, I'm not following. Good morning, Pavel Lucian Creature. That's a name right there. Yeah. Yeah. So here we are, people, in winter. We've got winter in Australia, summer in the north. It's coming out of it, though. We've only got about 4 weeks to go. And we're less than 4 weeks, right? 3 weeks, 3 and a bit weeks, and we're in spring. Yeah. I've got fruit trees that are already blossoming out there, so they think it's spring now, which is bizarre. Yeah, so it's really good. We have the gathering this September 7th, our annual Will Machado gathering, where they come from all over the country, all over the state. We get together. There's 300 or 400 competitors, and Higan Machado comes out. We have a day of competition and some seminars and training afterwards. It's fantastic. Just a great weekend, like a social event. And then And that marks a real change in the year for me personally. Like spring is there. And it's great. Looking forward to Hagen coming out. He's been over in Cyprus lately in a movie shoot for 3 weeks. Michael, thank you, Graham. Amy loves Red Cat, and we love having her there. Michael, any advice for longevity? Morning, Chris. Chris trains with me. Chris told. Michael, longevity. I guess so. I mean, people have asked me that a lot because I guess I'm older now. Now that I'm in my 60s, people are asking me these old man jiu-jitsu questions. And my standard answer is always, how do you do jiu-jitsu in your 60s? And I say denial. I believe in denial. I don't think I'm in denial about being an old man. So. But I think there are some practical things. I think you need to do some strength and conditioning training. That keeps you going longer. It's like use it or lose it. So when you start to lift some heavy weights and throw some kettlebells, flip some tiles, do some sprints, then your body says, well, you're going to keep doing that stuff to me. Well, I better be able to deal with it. So it keeps you in shape to deal with it. So I think you need to be in shape as you get older and older. I think you need to step up the strength and conditioning. I think you need to be a bit more careful about your diet, although I tell you what, I could go over and eat a bowl of Frosty Flakes right now and blow that whole idea out of the water, but that would look terrible, so I won't do it. I do feel like Frosty Flakes. So I think, you've got to look after your diet a little bit more. Well, you don't have to when you're 20 and training, you can eat it. Doesn't matter, but when you're older, you need to get on top of that. And I think you got to pick your battles too. You don't want to be, like getting broken when you point where you have to fight for your life every match. You need to just relax and cruise a little bit with your rolling. Try new things, but you don't want to be getting injured because to me that's the biggest problem with getting older. It's the fact that it takes longer to recover from injuries. Whereas when you're younger, you can, first of all, you don't get injured as much. And if you do get injured, you get back quickly. But as you get older, it just takes longer to recover from injuries. So now you go in training and rolling injured. So then you're more likely to get re-injured. So it's that and the compounding effect of injuries. That's the awkward thing about getting older. So you've got to be more sensible about it. Thanks, Pavel. Salvatore, good morning. Peter, good morning. Steve Percival joined. Steve Percival. Hey, Stevie. Hope you're home for a few weeks. Avoid that traveling. I am until after the gathering. A week after the gathering, I'm away for just 2 weeks in India. Going back to India on the 12th of September with a couple of my friends, with Craig, his kid, my wife, my son, Higa Machado, Lee Davies, his wife, hiring a bus and a driver with a fridge in it, going through Rajasthan out to some of the places I used to go, way out to Jaisalmer. Any advice for first-time comp entering? Okay, first-time comp entering, Chris. Don't worry about the outcome. The outcome is irrelevant. It's like first-time surfing. Just get in there, paddle around, jump on the board, fall off. That's as good as an experience as anything. So, you could almost say that, look, the first 3 or 4 comps you go in are just to figure out what does it feel like, what's it like going out there, what do you, just to get used to the environment. So don't put undue expectations upon yourself. I think people do that. So I think that's important. Don't care about the outcome. Just participate and enjoy the experience. And maybe also just try to look at it like another roll on the mat, right? Another roll on the mat, just another roll on the mat. That might be the best advice I can give you. Good morning, Shane. Good morning, Regan. Yeah. People often and I put myself in this category, right? They they place a lot of pressure on themselves, expectations. I think a lot of it comes down to what will people think of me? What will people think of me if I do this in front of everyone and I fail? Whether I ride the skateboard in front of everyone and I fail, whether I get on the tightrope, fall off, whether I get on the surfboard, fall off, whether I compete and lose, what will my peers, my girlfriend, my wife, my best mate, what will they think of me? Now, I don't think anyone thinks less of you for doing that, but we tend to think that people will. Maybe that stems from, way back in school where, you did something silly and everyone laughed, and some part of your brain says, wow, that's not cool. I just lost status in the tribe. Everyone laughed at me because I fell over. Shit, I won't do it. I won't put myself in the situation where I could fall over again. So I just won't try. I think there's something like that going on. So, that's why you've got to be. I think people should, with people they care about, encourage them to try and just make them know, hey, win or lose, who cares? Surf, catch the wave or fall off, who cares? Invest, shares go down, the price goes up, the price goes down, who cares? It's not about now, it's about the long game. It's not about now. Oh, I bought $1,000 worth of blue chip BHP shares. Oh my God, it's gone down the day after I bought them. Who cares? Look in 5 years. I lost my first competition. Oh my God, what do you think? No, you learned something. Look in 5 years and see what that competitor's doing. It's our tendency to focus in on the immediate outcome. That's one of the big dramas. And what people will think. That stops us. That stops us doing things. So if you're the kind of personality that you don't care what people think, you tend to do a lot better. But that's easier said than done, because we do care. Often we do care what people think, especially when we're young. Elon Musk doesn't care what people think. So he can try all this kind of stuff, win, fail, rocket fall, explode, whatever. He just keeps going because he doesn't care. No one cares. You know what else, Chris? People have got their own bag of shit that they're worried about, right? Everyone's got their own things that they're worried about. So it's not like everyone's eyes are on us, judging us. They've got their own dramas and problems in life. So really, maybe we might think that everyone's judging and looking at us, but the truth is they're probably not. It's all they can do to keep their own head above water, to keep their own relationships nice, to get their own money in the bank, to win their own competitions, to get their own body the way they want it to look, to get their hair looking the way they want it to look. It's a bit messy today. So people got their own drama. So I think we place too much weight on, what people think of us. Yeah, don't care as much, Chris, if at all. Just, I wonder if animals do that. I wonder if a bird thinks, oh my God, did other birds see me crash into that tree? Maybe, I don't know. Some animal person will have an opinion on that. I'm curious. I doubt it. I learned what I did wrong. Mm. Well, good luck with your competition there, Brad. The second one will be better than the first one. My son said to me yesterday after his competition, he goes, yeah, I'm cool with trying new things in competition because I'm not obsessed about, which way it goes. He said that to me. I thought, I was going to say to him, you should have done Spider Guard. You would have had a much more better chance of winning in the final. But you know what? I kind of really like his attitude, meaning, yeah, what is it? Meh, meh. I love it because I want my son to grow up become the kind of man that can try and fail and doesn't give a shit about what other people think. And I think he's nearly there. So, oh, my wife has just jumped on. Hey, baby. Baby, I wanted to eat broccoli and kale for breakfast, but there's a lot of people on this little forum that they're saying I should go and have some Frosty Flakes. A bowl of Frosty Flakes. They're daring me. Someone dare me. Hey, Co. Oh, Nikki, straight under the bus. John went in your kitchen. Nikki, Nikki, Nikki. My goodness. Ignore them. Oh, I love my Frosty Flakes. Look, it's a treat. Can't we have treats? It's the weekend. It's Sunday. We can have treats on Sundays. You wouldn't. Hey, hi, Co. Melissa, Co, hope you're well. Melissa was asking about you just the other night. She says, do you see Co when you go over to New Zealand still? I said, I don't. He's been busy with his giant family of triplets and in your life. And I haven't seen you on the map for ages. But yeah, do think of you when I'm there. So I hope you're well, Co. Hi to Tara. Yeah, hope you guys are well. Double dare. Pavel double dares me to eat the Frosty Flakes, baby. I'm doing it. Good man, Pavel. I'm doing it, babe. I've been dared. Bowl. Stand by. Health food of a nation. No. She's not here to stop me. Right. Look at that. That's it. If I dared you to jump off a cliff, would you? Baby, you did that in, where was it? Malta. And I did. So there. And I lost my glasses. Remember, I forgot to take my glasses off my head. So they went in the sea. But by some miracle, I found them later on by borrowing a kid's mask, swimming around for a while. Is this rude? My wife's eating octopus. Add malt. She knows I like malt. How high is the cliff? It wasn't that high. Frosty Flakes. Yum. Bad. Look at those two sisters telling me off for eating Frosty Flakes. It's Sunday. Come on, people. What's your favorite foods? Come on, not foods. Treats. Favorite treats. What do we got? I'm ignoring my wife because hers will be green and organic. There you go. Chris is with me. Frosty Flakes. Jolene, pardon me for talking with my mouth full of food. I'm with you. Dumplings are great. I love them. As long as the covering is very thin, like almost translucent, right? That's the way. Prawn, dumplings, fantastic. Where is my willpower? My favorite. I have no willpower Sundays. Ice cream chocolate. Not a fan of chocolate. Organic. Yeah, look at that. Jolene. Right. Thin. Steamed dumplings. Nikki. Cocoa Pops. Cocoa Pops are great. I like Cocoa Pops too. I can never tell Donna off for eating KFC again. That's true. But I don't think I have told you off. Fruit Loops. Oh my God. Okay, Pavel. Fruit Loops is out of control, mate. Real fruit. Copenhagen vanilla choc chip ice cream. Wow. Very specific. I like it. I like licorice, sarsaparilla. All the things my wife hates. My wife and I are like exactly opposites of each other. Philippine dumplings. Oh, yeah. Okay. Jolene. Hawke's Bay. Really? Why don't I do that? Can you remind me next time I'm there on the last Wednesday in November? I will come and eat those. Can you remind me? If you remember, if you can remember to remind me, that would be awesome. The waffle in Helsinki. Yeah, that's right. My wife can't judge me about eating these. Should have seen it in Helsinki a month ago. Pancakes by Chris with maple syrup, right? Maple syrup, Chris? All right. Thanks, everyone, for allowing me to eat those Frosty Flakes, setting a bad example for our youth. Of course, yeah, right. Can't go past maple syrup. Best Dumplings Cafe in, yeah, I'm sure that, I don't know what, Jolene, I don't know what you mean by dumplings exactly, but gyoza, what Nikki's talking about, I've never been a fan of gyoza. I much prefer the Chinese dumplings, the ones that have got a really thin outer covering that you can almost see through, steamed dumplings. That's my favorite dumplings. I'm not sure what kind you've got there, Jolene, but I'm keen to try. I can't believe Melissa even lets you have this stuff in the cupboard. I'm shocked. It's true. She's so green, organic-y, vegan-y, healthy. But I've got Easter eggs hidden in my house. Although, you don't want to hear the irony of it. I don't know where they're hidden. She hid them. I wouldn't eat the whole box. I would have eaten the whole box. Thanks, Brad. Neither ours are what you are. Okay, no, right. So you got Filipino ones. Yeah, Jolene. Still, I'm curious. I have no control. It's not entirely true. My wife does have control sometimes. Not really. I pretend she does. I pretend that I pretend she does. Anyway, I'm sure this conversation is pretty boring for most people. Ask me some jiu-jitsu questions or questions about Rajasthan or India or Indonesia or America or training or something else. Don's Matt. Women in jiu-jitsu. Don's is a black belt. Nikki Lang is a black belt. My wife is a brown belt. I love the fact that women are into jiu-jitsu nowadays. And who would have imagined that 35 years ago? Not me, because it was a really it was populated, the map was populated by fighters, not even by normal people, like not humans or anything. All people from the martial arts or from the fringes were on the map then. So they weren't even normal people, let alone women. But now we have stacks of women training. It's such a fantastic thing to see. Melissa Will, can you teach me BJJ? Book a private lesson. Funny girl, that one. Favorite place in India? I have to say, I did a bit of wrestling in India, so the wrestling pit's one of my favorite spots. But romantically speaking, like the romance of it, the like, oh wow, that was such a thing. I think that would have to be Jaisalmer, which is way, way out in the desert, in the Rajasthani desert. You go Jaipur, Jodhpur, and then Jaisalmer. When I went out there, the only way was like an 18-hour train ride, which is brutal. Was brutal, but now I'm gonna drive out there on a bus. So I think Jaisalmer. I'm gonna write it down. That's how you spell it, Jolene. And it's pretty, it's like, imagine like a day of traveling over sand, just desert, right? And then you get to this city that looks like something out of the Arabian Nights, just pops out of the sand, and it's got a wall right around it, like 5 kilometers round, an old wall with 2 or 3 gates leading in, and cobblestone streets going up, and it's all inside there. And there's camels and stuff. It's amazing stuff. Nowhere in India, I'll be the judge of that. Yeah, that's true. She will be. So Jaisalmer, pretty interesting place. Yeah, ancient and just different and difficult to get to. The problem with tourism, of course, I am a part of the problem. Like you go to somewhere like Florence in Italy, and you just see there's just hundreds of thousands of tourists per day in streets that were not designed even for a car. So can you imagine? That's the trouble. Venice is, they're now closing down. I just read yesterday that the government, due to protests in Venice, are stopping cruise ships from hitting Venice. Now, and they need to, because apparently it was 250 to 300,000 people a day, or no, it might be more. Was it 2.5 million a day? Mostly Chinese tourists descending upon Venice, destroying it. Not intentionally, but just the sheer numbers of people. It's not designed for it. And of course, I'm part of the problem, being a tourist. So places I like to go to now are places that are difficult to get to. Like Jaisalmer is difficult to get to, so then you don't have so much drama. The same thing with hiking in the wilderness. I like to do things where it's hard to get to. You either got to do a 2-day walk or a chopper ride in there or something. You can't just drive up to it. Anything you can just drive up to or take a boat into is overrun. I'd love to see the wrestling book you permanently borrowed from the State Library in New Delhi. Oh, did I admit to that? All right. Stand by. I hope I don't end up in prison in India. That won't be no frosty flakes in there, mate. Ooh, ooh. The Mala Purana, which means the Purana is like means the ancient text or something, and Mala means fighting, so ancient fighting text. I'll show you. See that bottom photo? I met that guy. I met the one on the bottom photo, the one on top. I stayed with him for a couple of weeks, did some training. They are fighting with that strapped on their right hand, knuckle duster. That picture, if you look closely, is an omoplata. Look at that. Omoplata. Anyway, the art is all but, well, it's died out now. It's finished. It's called Vajramushti. That's the book. Malapurana. Yeah. There you go. There you go, Sam. See, hope you like that. I don't think many people have seen that book. Like the chopper ride. Just arrived in Laylaw. See you tomorrow. Okay, Craigie, good man. Oh, wow, big day for you. Yeah, see you tomorrow. See you in the morning. I'll come pick you up for the gym. Peter, what are your thoughts on kids doing jits? Its effects on the body. Teach kids and have kids will definitely learn one day. But I've been teaching position escapes, takedowns, not sure about arm bars, etc. Yeah, I think kids. It's good for kids. Kids are. I'm sure. I don't know everyone else's experience, but when I was a kid, I loved wrestling around with my dad and stuff. I mean, kids are natural wrestlers, grapplers. You know, they're not stand back, kick, punch them. The kids don't do that naturally, but every kid, all primates like wrestling. It's part of rough play. So yeah, we teach kids, teach little kids. Well, when I say we, my wife teaches the kids. And no, we don't get injuries. We let them do arm bars and triangles and do all the stuff. Yeah, no problem. They're good at it. They love it. Kids respond really well to the tactile element of it. It's all kinesthetic. And they love it. We got big kids classes at Red Cat Academy at most schools. We've got 4 to 7-year-olds. That's one group. Then we've got 8 to 12-year-olds. That's a different group because I think the split 7 to 8 years of age, they're different. You know, like 9-year-olds are very different than 7-year-olds. So the way they think and learn. So we do 4 to 7s. We do 8 to 12s. And then we do teenagers. And then we do adults. So that's how we break it down in my school, Peter. That's Vincent Perry. Hey, Vincent, good morning. Morning, Jamie. Jolene, cool book. Can you type the name and author? You're not going to find that book, Jolene. It's only 100 copies in the world, but it's called Malapurana by You're not going to get that book. That's the whole point of that former comment. Can't get that book. You didn't eat your mates that time. No, I didn't. Morning, Eric. Buster. Good morning, Buster. Thank you. Glad you gave it a good home. Yeah, that book's got a good home. Good morning, Judy. They love Felix. Who loves Felix? Baby, I'm not sure who you're talking about. Malapurana. I'm reading my own comments. It's ridiculous. Damn. Yeah, no, there's better books to buy. That book is not, like a lot of the old books are just good to have. Like, they're not going to teach you much, although that book was quite interesting. But look, these are some old books. Wrestling and Jiu-Jitsu, very, old. I can't get used to holding this the right way. Doing a good job. Shoot. These are old books that are just nice to have. Some of these old things here. Yeah. But of course, nowadays we live in a age of YouTube and Instagram, so the books aren't as relevant. But I like them. I like to hold a book in my hand. I don't like to read off an iPad. I like to have the book, the pages, and tactile. I kind of like that. Also, when I'm on my iPad, I'm looking at a screen, like I'm looking at a screen now when I'm typing or working, or I'm doing that. So when I'm holding an actual book, it's like it's a different experience. I've switched off to all the other stuff, and I'm into the mode of reading. So yeah, I've never really got into the. I see and appreciate the convenience of having digital books. Certainly convenient for people, but for me, I like the old thing, the original books. Panache, hey Panache, good morning to you. Wow, long time since I've seen you guys. Hope you and your sister are well. Tree, good morning to you. The kids, I see my wife. Yeah, the kids at the school like Felix. Yeah, my son Felix helps my wife teach the kids class, but the kids really do love Felix. He's one of these people. He likes the kids. He said, I don't want to teach kids class, but when I grow up, I don't want to do that. He used to say that a while ago, but now he loves them. Now he loves going there, loves being there, loves helping the kids out. He likes to see them. He really helps them. He loves to see them improve. Yeah, it's very cool watching that. I tell my kids that bookcases are called shelves. Eye shelves. Right, cool. Yeah. Yeah, I like writing. I mean, that's why I wrote my books. I've written the Rogue Black Belt series, which is basically autobiographical, but it's really not the point of talking about my life. I was really talking about that series of books, Rogue Black Belt. For those who don't know that, I've written 3 books. But how that started was I just wrote down I started out, I wanted to write a book that was the 20 most important lessons I've learned in my life. And then I realized that there was many more than 20. There was like 50, which eventually became 60. So I basically wrote 3 books. And in the first book, I put those 60 lessons, like how did I learn them? There was a story that went with how I learned that lesson. And so I put them in chronological order. So then it just seemed natural just to write the autobiography. But it wasn't meant to be an autobiography. It was meant to be the 60 most important things I've ever learned. And so I wrote those books. Yeah, and they sold pretty well. People tend to like them. And that's the Rogue Black Belt series. Just Rogue Black Belt. If anyone is interested, see if I can spell this right. Rogue, not Rouge, Rogue Black Belt.com. Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, there it is. 1, 2, and 3. Yep. Anything else? Let me see here. So, who's competing? Who's coming to the gathering? Anyone out there coming to the gathering this year? Chris, I guess you're competing. You've had a bad run with injuries, Chris. You this and that, but I'm sure you're up for it. Any books I'd recommend? No. I mean, look, I can recommend 1,000 books, but it depends, right? It's such a broad question. It's like kind of like asking What do you like? What's good to eat? You know, it depends, and not only depends on the person, but depends on the time of day and what have you done in the previous 3 days. And you know, it's a difficult question to answer. Any books I'd recommend for BJJ. Not necessarily, like nothing's really jumped out. Other people may have an opinion on that. I mean, I've written books on BJJ, but I've run out of them. They've sold out. The only one I've done lots of runs. I've sold thousands and thousands of them. But the only ones I have left, which I printed too many of the last one. I printed 2,000 instead of 1,000. You know, on the second or third printing of it, called the Guard book. So I've got the Guard. I recommend that. You can buy it on the website if you want to get it, and I'll just throw in some extra DVDs for you. I'll put the website down here. If you order the Guard book, I'll put some extra things in for you. Amy can't wait to compete in the gathering. Perfect. Yeah. Sam, Zoe, and you'll be there to compete. Perfect. My wife is listening, but just eating this octopus. I'll be at the gathering. She will be eating octopus. I ate Frosty Flakes. Balance it out. Balance in all things. Get them on Kindle. Your books, please. I can't be bothered. Actually, I think I did. I think I make 20 cents a year or something. I keep getting this little thing. Yeah, I think if you go to, where do you go? Kindle? Go to Kindle or Amazon.com. And I think go to Amazon.com and look up Rogue Black Belt. And you might be able to get it on Kindle. Yeah, try that. CM Hillbilly. Morning. Amy wants to know, can you open up a jiu-jitsu school instead of a school? Yeah. You know, but like I haven't got the energy to run a full-time, meaning be there Monday to Friday all day. But I get it. I think that's the future of schools, like not so much. I think school education 100 years from now, provided we don't all go down the gurgler and something bad happens, but I think if we keep on evolving and making things better, which we do tend to, we're doing that. I think in 100 years from now, the education system will be very different. It's obviously easier in places like Finland, where you have these very small populations. Like my friend Craig Morfitt has pointed out that to me on more than one occasion. What you can get done when there's a small population is very different from what you can get done like in America with a large population, because it's a scaling issues. You know, it's easy to make one really great, what do you call it, Tesla. I heard Elon Musk talk about that the other month, but it's hard. It's a different thing to make, 100,000 of them. I mean, you can do one, but when you want to scale up to mass production, it gets tricky, right? In a lot of different ways. And I think it's the same with education. A smaller country, small population, you can kind of become much more boutique-y about the way you implement it. You can change things quickly. You can try things. You can do experiments. Doesn't work, you go back to the old way. You can't do that with a large population anywhere near as easily. So maybe more homeschooling. I think I'd homeschool my son Felix now. If I could go back in time, I think I'd probably homeschool him. Yeah. I think I would do that. Always. Jason Barnes also competing at the gathering from your school. Perfect. Nikki Lang, Amazon. Thanks, Nikki. Yeah, there it is. Is that digital? Yep. Yeah, I thought I did it one time. Someone asked me years and years ago, and I did jump through the hoops to do it. You don't get any money from that. You get like a cent. I don't know what it is. So I don't think I do nothing. But it's good. It's a way for people to read those books that, don't want to deal with the postage and stuff like that, which is cool. So there it is. 1, 2, and 3. Yeah, right. Yeah. You don't have to read them in that order. You can just read them in any order, but it just starts. It's chronological from when I was a kid through to current times. But the lessons are the important thing. The 20 lessons, and I've kind of condensed it on the first page of each chapter. I've just condensed it down, like in a paragraph. Here's the lesson. Like, yeah, hopefully you'll enjoy it. I don't know what they cost there or anything. It's not that expensive. Amazon gets the money. I buy lots of stuff from Amazon. That's why I buy a few things now. Amazon's good. Well, it's convenient. I don't know if it's good. It's convenient. All right, I'll do a couple more minutes and then, I'm just watching my computer is down to 13% power, which means I have to walk right over there and plug it in. I'll do a few more minutes and then I'll bail. For the rest of my Sunday, wait for my wife to come home. I might be able to squeeze in one more bowl of Frosty Flakes before she gets here. So last thing I'm going to ask, if anyone's listening here, there's 50 people on here, topics, because rather than just rambling, I would be okay with picking a topic. So if anyone's got any suggestions for topics, you can private message me on Facebook or you can put them here right now. Chris and Kerry, this year's gathering will be 9 in a row. Looking forward to it. It'd be great to see you again, Chris. 9 in a row. That's good. We're going to have a prize for 10. Yes, you better eat those Frosty Flakes before she gets home. Any chance you could bring a copy of this guard book to Port Lincoln next week? I'm not going to remember to do that from here, so I'm happy to do it. What you want to do, Brody, is message me on Thursday, and I'll throw it in my bag. All right? Remind me Thursday, I'll bring it. Chokes and arm bars. Is that, you mean as a suggestion? It's hard to coach, just as long as you understand, Brad, that it is very difficult to coach over the internet. But I will, at some point shortly, get my son and take this whole laptop down to my mat. In fact, is this when I'm walking, is that too disconcerting? Or can you still see? Does it stream smoothly? Someone let me know. Home mat. See if it, yeah, it's my home mat. Can't see the tatami. There you go. There's some Indian weaponry. Ancient India. No, that's Indonesia, mostly. Yeah. This is India. Yeah. That's from, some of that's from Rajasthan. Some of that's from Jaisalmer. There you go. I'll get my son to come down and get on the mat with me some point. And we'll pick a topic and take questions and do some stuff. I'll give you notice. I'll give everyone notice so that they can also, if they want to, get a buddy and get their laptop or phone or whatever and get on the mat. And I'm happy to do that at some point. I don't know if that was pretty bad. So far, so good. Did that work? Or was it? Okay, cool. Can do. Core skills to build a solid foundation jiu-jitsu. Happy to do that. Can do. Yep. Cool. Some tutorials would be good. Would some tutorials? Yeah, and pick a subject, Nikki, and higher grades get the preference. So, yeah, come up with pick a topic, and even if it's a topic you know a lot about, sometimes I can you know, sometimes people can give you another perspective and just get you. If you can get someone looking at a topic they already know well from a slightly different point of view, I find that to be often more value than becoming coached on a new topic. Certainly, from my own point of view, I would much rather get a new perspective on something I already know than be introduced to something completely new. I think I'm probably 50-50, but I think if I had to choose, I'd choose that. You get more value because you already understand context and you know, the when and the where and how it fits in. I need a home mats. Yeah, get home mats. Shin on shin. Nicolini. Michelle Nicolini. And she's a girl. And great. Jiu-jitsu. She's the master of shin on shin. My Mac will soon go to sleep unless plugged into a power cord. Yeah, guess it will be. I'll soon go to sleep unless plugged into some Frosty Flakes. All right. Well, thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for coming along Sunday morning. Nice for me to have a chat with you all. Just a little way to connect with some people that I haven't connected with for a while. You had a private lesson with Nicola. Yeah, of course, with Michelle. Beautiful. Good on you, Nikki. It's great. All right. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. I'm gonna be bailing. Thank you, Brad. Have a great day, everyone. Back into the routine for me this week, which is awesome. It's my favorite part of my life, just living my normal routine. Going to the school, getting up in the morning. Got a few private lessons in the morning. Couple of I can't say that. No. Yeah. Couple of privates in the morning. Then I got gym. Then I got class at nighttime. All through the week. Looking forward to it. And I think next Friday and Saturday, Friday night, I'll be in Port Lincoln. Saturday, I will be in Adelaide. And I'm home again Saturday night. So I might even be here next Sunday morning. If anyone's interested, call in Sunday morning. I will make a loose plan right now, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll be home. Thanks very much, everyone. Have a great week. Okay, bye for now.